Hey Powell River, hey Park Bench, it's Austin here with the fabulous Terry and Cord of Supercharger. You may have known them already, but if you don't, you're about to get to know them a little bit better. So guys, I have some questions for you today. The first of which is, how did you choose to be in Powell River?
I think Cord starts this one off because it started with you.
Sure. We had some COVID experiences like everybody else.
Oh yeah.
And then I was in Pemberton for like a year and a bit in a little cabin without kids.
Oh my gosh.
You know, while my wife worked in Vancouver in the hospital.
Yeah.
Through like peak COVID times. And then she was only visiting on the weekends, and then we decided we had to get our family back together after a year. So she was offered a job here at the hospital. And so she took up that position in emergency. So I came from Pemberton to Powell River and looked at it for like 2 days, and I was like, well, this place is gorgeous.
Yes.
So, and we moved here very quickly.
So many people have love at first sight experiences with Powell River.
Yeah, it's mostly like that. We had friends who lived here too.
That
so that was part of it. And
yes.
she was like, of course there's the ocean, but have you seen all of the lakes and all the beautiful trails and all of the, so she took us on a great tour. And it was like the perfect time of year. We got some mushrooms and we did the whole foraging thing and we cooked the pasta, and I was like, all right, this is pretty good.
Perfect.
So we moved.
Love it.
Yeah, Cord lived here and I was in Tofino.
Right.
And I was running a resort out there with Christine. She was my wife. She's a pastry chef. And kind of had some medical issues and I took some time off, which was great. I got to re-engage with my family, my kids especially. And then we just started chatting Cord, and he was like, I'm getting the itch to kind of do a new business. And you know, Tofino's hard to live in with a young family, right? There's not a lot of infrastructure like there is here. And I was kind of in limbo in the next job. So, you know, I'd worked with Cord previously and we're good friends as well. So we came out and visited a couple times, and then we fell in love with it as well, with the lakes and all that kind of stuff in Ontario.
Yeah.
And then, yeah, we just had this great opportunity, and Cord's been fantastic getting us involved as well in this business.
We took you guys to like, the rec center, and I was like, here's the gymnastics place.
Yeah,
and like,
there
here's
is
the
a little bit of everything.
And
yeah.
Like, here, you know, it's like our kids are on the swim club, and there's
people are so afraid they're gonna miss those big city opportunities, that everything to do. But
we were missing that
in
Tofino, right? Because our kids aren't big surfers. It's obviously a beautiful place.
Yeah.
Like I think it's one of the most beautiful places in the world.
I'm sure.
And our kids aren't surfers, and you know, so there's not much more. But now,
that's more concentrated. This is a little more melting pot of.
It's a great place to raise a family.
It is.
Right, there's so many activities, there's so much outdoor, there's so much more, right?
Have you guys done rock climbing on the weekend? Together.
Yeah.
Wow.
And then Jack was, Chris called and he went over to Nelson's place and they went kayaking in wetsuits. It was like freezing outside. I'm like, what? And he's like, yeah, we had a sauna.
Yeah, it's great.
Kayaking in the ocean.
Everyone has a new experience to share.
Yeah.
I love it.
You know, it was great for my wife as well, because she wanted to get out of the restaurant industry and be more of a teacher. So now she's at BIU.
Good
she's
for
in
her.
that program there, and she's loving it. She's killing it. She also does our dough program here, so she's a busy woman.
No doubt.
But you know, she's super talented, and we're lucky to have her.
That's exciting. Maybe it'll be a feature one day.
Oh, she does them all the time.
Oh, really?
Yeah, she does our desserts.
Clearly, I need to be here more. I apologize. I already love your pizza, but I gotta try everything else on the menu now.
The desserts are very, very good.
Yeah.
The panna cotta is addictive.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh dear.
It's tough though. It's tough to gauge where we want to go, right? So we're figuring it out as we go.
Yeah.
She puts a lot of work into them, so they're outstanding, but she's busy. So.
Yeah, a lot of trial and error in the first 2 years.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay, well, on that note, what are some odd requests that you've had from customers for such features?
I think it's more just sometimes you get a pizza order and you're kind of like, whoa, that's an interesting topping combo.
There you go.
Someone ordered the vegetarian and then like add pepperoni, add pork, and I was like, that's actually probably delicious.
It is.
There you go. They just like that combo of veggies. Why not?
Yeah, you know what? Sometimes like people will surprise you, right?
Yep.
You're kind of like, I never thought about that. But, hey.
Someone the other day brought in a fresh jalapeno. And I was like, can you put this on? And we're like,
no way.
We were not going to do that for everybody.
No.
But
one time only.
It was actually
it was
absolutely delicious.
Yeah.
The jalapeno from the garden, and we chopped it up and put it on the pizza. It was very good.
Yeah, that's pretty exciting.
Yeah.
And I hear you had an interesting request that was not about pizza.
Yeah, so the lady came in and she was like, here's my phone, like, can I leave this here and you'll charge it? And I was like, sorry, what are you talking about? And she's like, it's Supercharger, you know, a phone charging store? And I was like, we are not, but
charge your phone
I'm
and
not sure how you would make a business out of that. But it was fine, because then it led us to change our our branding a little bit.
There you go.
We had just a little bit, so we did some more iconography up front with a pizza and a pizza on the door and a pizza slice up on the sign up front to
Perfect.
make it blatantly obvious that we are a pizza shop and maybe not a phone charger. So we'll charge your phone.
So how did you come up with the name Supercharger then?
Well, it was this kind of twofold. It was first of all, when we first moved here, we were coming up with an idea for the business and how that would work. And we have another business partner as well, Aaron and Melissa, and we talked about 80s movies and 80s pizzeria and video games and sports, and we kind of dove into that a little bit. And we was looking at NFL things, and my team, the Chargers, is like their team used to be called the Superchargers, like way back, but they
Gotcha.
dropped the super part. So 80s sports reference there, but Aaron's a Bears fan, so we have some Bears stuff up around, and then Terry is a Niners fan, so we have that going on too. And then secondly, we wanted to have a bit of energy into the thing, so as well we wanted to be like a 80s pizzeria, but with very good food and good quality food, but fun atmosphere and like a nice environment, nice and relaxed out here. But
It is. You can feel that.
Thank you. But
Yeah.
good food, but like chill vibes, but good
Yes.
professional, but like with 80s pizzeria reinvented with better food.
With a lot of nostalgia thrown in.
That is true. Like my kids can recognize things, I can recognize things, and my husband with different kind of things. I love the Ghostbusters,
Mhm.
love Ninja Turtles, and like everything tells a story, and you just want to kind of learn more about you guys and about your history with that. So it's
We try
really
to
cool.
play 80s stuff on the TVs as well. Right now we're into playoffs with a bunch of sports, basketball and hockey, which is fantastic. But we also have like video games up there, like Mario Brothers,
Love it.
things we played as kids. But I mean, you bring your kids in and you just find them sitting here and they're like zoned in on the TV. Parents get to have a couple of drinks and have a nice conversation. It's actually a great babysitter.
I will keep
Right,
that in
So
mind.
it's pretty wild because it's like the games are so old
Yeah.
and the graphics are so terrible, but
But
the
they've
kids
never
have
seen
never
that.
seen that
It's
before.
brand
Yeah.
new.
And they're like,
I just want to start
Reinvented.
watching it, right? And
Love it.
they eat and they're just quiet.
Yeah.
And parents are like, just have like, oh, okay.
So
let's do this.
relaxing.
Yeah.
Instead of like, stop sitting down, oh my god,
Yeah.
oh my god.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's pretty
Yeah.
relaxed.
It's
I
Yeah.
been pretty
love
good
it.
so far. So
That's awesome.
yeah, it's great. The nostalgia is a number one for us and a lot of people coming in.
Very good to hear. So on the flip side, what would be the greatest challenges that you've had in owning a business in Powell River?
I think business levels it's hard to go in and out of. Like 1 week could be on and up, and then the following week is down.
Yeah.
Especially in the off season.
Well,
been
you're not
a
at quite a
challenge.
year yet, so it's
Yeah.
hard to really gauge, right?
And don't get me wrong, we're super thankful for everything we've got, right? And we're learning and we're adjusting as we go. But
Food costs,
food costs.
cauliflower.
Oh man, like
Yeah.
just the demographic of the food within the world these days, right? And
Inflation is crazy
Inflation is
everywhere.
out of control.
It hurts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, there was one point where I had cauliflower on. It was a great dish, but it skyrocketed for 9 heads of cauliflower to like $160, and I was like,
It's $15 for a thing of cauliflower at the shop.
Oh
and I was like, I
feel your
can't
pain.
sustain that, right?
no.
So we just kind of moved quickly and changed it to a different vegetable, which still worked, and we
Good.
try to work within seasons
Yeah.
and stuff like that.
You can always
So
bring it back later.
yeah, and yeah, we just go with the ebb and flow.
Well,
But-
explaining that to people, we can all relate, and then we all feel connected.
I think perceived value is a thing that's important to us too, and a little bit of a challenge. Like you can get different types of pizza, you can get different types of chicken, you can get a different type of salad. So we hand make all our own dressings. We use local lettuce leaves for the salad. We get deliveries like of fresh mushrooms all the time.
That's key, and you can taste that.
Yeah.
And it's just the way that people talk about you guys and your experience. Like you can tell that that's always front of mind for you. And like the creations you come up with, the mixture of flavors. Like you put so much thought into that, and every time you share your new feature on Instagram, that's like, how did you come up with that? It's not some random person
Nice.
idea. It's
Yes.
clearly curated.
Yeah, that's awesome. People still want to pay for it. So
Yeah,
we could
fair.
make a $50 pizza
Yeah.
using like another example of we used to work in a sandwich place, and the guy would bring pork in, and he'd be like, "Will you try this pork?" And I would say yes. And he was like, "This is the best pork that you'll ever taste." And we're like, "Sure." So we tried it, and he came back after the weekend. He's like, "What did you think?" And I was like, "That's the best pork we've ever eaten."
Mhm.
And he's like, "So you use it for your store?" And I was like, "Well, how much is it?" He's like, $9 a pound. And I'm like, "Well, we pay $3 a pound." He's
Whoa.
like, "So I don't understand." He was like, "I don't understand how you don't want to use my product, And I'm like, we would have to charge $25 for a sandwich.
Yeah.
And we charge
That's
$9.
intense.
So
That's a little
Finding
much.
that balance, right?
But you want that thing that people will come back for on a regular basis instead of that one-of-a-kind annual
Yeah.
lunch that they
we have
treat
to
themselves
to
to.
succeed and sustain as a business.
Absolutely.
It's finding that balance, right? We want to
Yes.
use local farmers. We want to pay a living wage, but we want that return visit, right?
Absolutely, and that's how we become those entrepreneurs that support everyone else.
Yeah, and we had all the farmers in town here for dinner one night. It was great to see them.
was such a cool
Obviously,
thing
as a
to do.
chef, you're super excited to come out of winter and fall
Yes.
and get into spring because that's when the bounty starts coming. And so I'm really looking forward to having more products and talking to more farms around the area and stuff like that because they're fantastic here.
Well, the collaboration, that also brings the conversation, which brings the referrals, which brings, new customers and new people that will be repeat because they love where your source is.
Yeah, and when you see your farmers eating in your restaurant, I mean, you're obviously doing something.
That can be your next video.
Yeah.
Community dining, here we go.
Long table talks.
Love it,
Yeah.
love it.
Let's do it.
Can I lean into that too? Because we had all the farmers here, and we would like to support them, and they support us. And everyone's like, "Oh, summer will be so busy for you guys." And we have the coffee shop next door, and Nevada's amazing and a great neighbor. And she's like, "You guys will be more busy in summer and the campsites, etc." But that's great. But what about next winter? And what about now? And what about Tuesdays in February? So we have to be part of the community. We have to have the
It's very true.
farmers as our guests and spread the word that we're going
Yes.
to try and support people. And I don't know, I think everyone should go out and eat as much locally as they can, but support the local store with local vendors and
Yeah.
all of
Local
those things are very
bookstores,
important.
local
Well,
everything,
now
right?
seeing your friends at those things, it brings positive memories for everybody, and they'll want to do it more and more instead of just sitting at home in front of their own TV, right? So I
Yeah.
think that's a great thing to
And I think
constantly
next-
encourage.
Yeah, next year too, I think we'll do some fun things. We're not going to share them now, but there's some
Yeah.
fun things
Keep
we
the
have
surprises
out in
coming.
the books.
I love it. I always look
It's
forward to the new
awesome.
features and new posts, so that's good to
It's a fun aspect,
want to
right?
know more. People
Yeah.
wanting more. Perfect.